Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I am Adrian Atkinson, your guide for this enlightening journey. Today's show brings you the stories that will inform and inspire and might even get you rocking your hips or shaking a leg through culture, wellness, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Stay with us.
One thing we need to remember is that there are many persons out there in our family, community, wider society who may be having challenges, and that these persons sometimes need to be heard, sometimes need to be helped, sometimes need to be hugged, right? And the best we can do to promote mental wellness in our community is just to be there for people, to be able to hear them, to be able to hug them, to be able to help them, you know? And let's all be our brother's keeper and make this place a better place and a place that is conducive to good mental health and mental wellness.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Jamaica Magazine. It's time we face a simple truth. Our everyday actions shape the future we leave behind. The plastic bottle dropped on the beach or the bag tossed aside after shopping, it all adds up. And now, the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, is calling on all Jamaicans to join hands and hearts to help restore and protect what matters most: our shores, our environment, and our future.
Jamaica's shores protect us, but now they need us to protect them.
So some simple things that we can do to change how we impact the environment include how you manage your waste.
The persons who live near the gully, dispose of your garbage in a more better way, because what is happening, it is destroying the ecosystem.
So it's essentially an initiative that we have commenced as an agency, the National Environment and Planning Agency, to bring public awareness to ongoing activities that we have along our coastal area. We're along the coastlines of the Kingston Harbour. Many persons will be familiar with that location. But the work that we're doing here impacts the wider protected area, the Palisades Port Royal Protected Area, which is also designated as a wetland of international importance under the Convention of Wetlands, or the Ramsar Convention. So this location is recognized not only for the species, the plants, the animals, the habitats that it has, but the ecological importance and the contribution that it makes. It's not only the ecological contribution, but also the historical nature of the sites and the significance of the heritage here that is recognized under the protected area designation.
Having a clean beach is important for the healthy lifestyle of the people here in Kingston, for anyone. And so when there is garbage, when there's pollution, it takes away so much from those who make a living from the beach. And even just to come along the beach, to sit, to have a moment of calm is so beneficial for the residents here. And so having the beach polluted at such a rapid pace is not good for our fellow Jamaicans. At the JPS, and by extension the JPS Foundation, environmental stewardship is very important to us. And the JPS Foundation has one area of focus as climate resilience. And climate resilience speaking to ensuring that we have a healthy environment. It speaks to mitigation efforts. It also speaks to resilience and by extension food security.
Environmental and social governance is important for the social group because we recognize that within the communities that we operate, yes, it's amazing to be doing well, but when you can do good in the communities that you operate in, of course, then you can have an even better impact on, persons from all walks of life.
We have seen where the anchoring and the bunkering, has done significant damage to the coral reefs that are outside here, and we have spoken about it many times. We have seen what NEPA is doing. The benefit is that it will be long-term.
Reinforcing the spirit of collaboration and environmental action were NEPA's Chief Executive Officer Leonard Francis and French Ambassador to Jamaica, Olivier Guionva, who joined in mangrove replanting efforts.
Why are mangroves important? Because they protect coastal areas.
The message of mangrove conservation and restoration isn't just on the beach, it's everywhere, from school visits and interactive sessions to stakeholders igniting change, planting seeds of awareness and stewardship. Our future conservators are being equipped to protect and preserve Jamaica's coastal treasures through shared knowledge, creative outreach, and genuine engagement. One act of care, one mangrove planted, one restored shore, one dedicated person can make a world of difference to Jamaica's natural environment.
Restore our shores!
Let's restore our shores.
NEPA's Adopt a Mangrove and Adopt a Beach programs are volunteer-driven initiatives that invite individuals, communities, companies, and agencies to take an active role in preserving Jamaica's coastal ecosystems. Through activities such as beach cleanups and mangrove replanting, these programs not only support the restoration of vital habitats, but also foster community involvement and raise public awareness about the harmful effects of marine pollution on our coastal and marine environment. Join the initiatives by visiting our website at nepa.gov.jm or call 876-754-7540 to 6.
Your devices are important, and so is charging them safely.
Never charge your phones or your laptop in bed, or leave them charging on your sofa or on any material that is flammable. That is a risk that is too great for you to take on.
Instead, charge your devices on a hard surface and always unplug them once fully charged.
Today is being observed as International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples, a time to honor the legacy of our ancestors and those who came before us. Their spirit continues to move through us, quite literally, in the rhythms and rituals of all traditional dances.
Similar to the country's motto, out of many one people, Jamaica's indigenous dance movement is a rich mix of African, European, Spanish, and several other ethnic influences. A shoulder movement from the British, hip roll from the Africans, and so on. All gyrations and synchronized rhythmic stepping, locals have merged to birth new dance styles.
Indigenous means that it was created here. It's native to the space. I call some things indigenous formalized. They're indigenous, and all these indigenous things, like, for example, gere, they say it's a creolized form. Now, when you say creolized form, that means some of it was shaped here, so then it becomes indigenous. So there are quite a few others.
Brookings reveals a unique mixture of African and European influences. The Brookings Party is a stately, dipping gliding dance typified by the thrust and recovery action of the hip and leg.
So, for example, Brookings, you cannot go back to Africa and find Brookings. Remember, Brookings was a celebration for the abolition of slavery in this country called Jamaica. And there's a long story behind that. So that position happens in Brookings. All right, get up. But she not do it all the way. When them do it, you know, it's all down on the ground and the back and back.
This band of masqueraders scare a few, especially children. Some persons are definitely not in favor of one of the characters, the devil. John Kunu goes as far back as slavery, but at that time, the bands were very large and elaborate. The musicians would play tunes of well-known traditional songs on the fife, accompanied by bass and rattling drums, shakas and graters. Their primary dance movement is to prance, behaving wildly as they try to evoke fun or mockery.
Ska at the original sound. Ska at the foundation sound. Ska music is a great, great sound. Jamaica's first international.
What you see down across is arms that come out of Jankuno, come out of our ancient forms as well. And so you see those arms in Ska. Those same arms. What it come from? It have to come anywhere from sky. It come from our ancestral memories, our heritage, and it bleed beautifully into modern day times, into what we call popular dance.
Dancehall in the 1960s, a popular dance then was the ska. Oh yes, skanking was the movement partygoers would do to the rhythm of the similar name, ska punk or hardcore punk.
Jamaica's first international.
When people say they're dancing bingy, also indigenous. Any movement that you see people do in Rastafari, because Rastafari, and it's not only dance.
That's right. Rastafarianism is a religion and it has its own dance.
Although African Kumina has been here for so long, it is a tradition in the space. Kumina was not created here. It is Kikongo. In the language they speak, free Africans and enslaved Africans, the more they came, brought that tradition, that religious tradition, to the space. But over time, because that is from 18 something, you know, it becomes traditional to the space because it's constantly here. Dancehall is indigenous. Everything in dancehall is indigenous. And so everybody should be saying, anybody who dancehall should mention Jamaica. Because Jamaica is who created that cultural space that has in it dance. Dancehall goes right back to Africa. And if you go online now and you look at Africans doing dancehall, there's a slightly different flavor to it. But there's a use of bottom, there's a use of, the use is similar. So some things, you know, are what Kamau Brathwaite, the writer from Barbados, says tide electric. In that the tides of the ocean bring it come, and sometimes the tides of the ocean carry it back. So if you look at dancehall, you know, the ocean bring all of this African, and then sometimes you see it carry back, and dancehall is in Africa now as African dancehall. In dance, it's a forward movement where we decide to be Caribbean-centric. So now we're not necessarily Afrocentric or Eurocentric. We have now created a space of our voice. We are Caribbean-centric in the movements that we create. From the time of ska that you mentioned, all the way up now to dancehall.
Up next, we journey into a space where ancestral knowledge and cultural identity thrive. The Rastafari Indigenous Village in St. James welcomes visitors into a way of life rooted in tradition, sustainability, and spiritual connection, a living link to the wisdom of those who came before.
It's referred to as Jamaica's second city, and it's one of the island's top tourism destinations. Montego Bay, St. James, with its vibrant hip strip, white sandy beaches, and captivating resort life that continues to beckon to persons outside the region, is a beautiful place. But even more beautiful are some of the hidden treasures in the parish. In today's Round the Bend, we experience some of the most authentic and fulfilling experiences you can imagine. Walk with me.
After treading the rocky riverbed of the Montego River, following the footpath on its bank, you will be escorted to a hidden gem, the Rastafari Indigenous Village. This 10-year-old village, which is tucked away in Portobello, Montego Bay, was established by a group of Rastafarians who have come together to preserve their culture and introduce visitors to their way of life and teachings.
Our philosophy is one of harmony, and music shows you clearly that difference is not something that can stop you from being harmonious. Why? Because everyone plays a different beat, everyone makes a different sound, but still it comes together to make one music. And that's the message of Rastafari, that even though we're from different places, different skin tone, different eye colors, we can celebrate these differences instead of allowing them to separate us, so we can create one beautiful song for the human experience and the planet.
During this time, visitors are served fresh fruits in bamboo, and they can also get a chance to learn the art of traditional drumming.
After relishing the pulsating tunes of the drums, visitors are then escorted to the various stations in the village, where they will be further immersed in the Rastafari culture.
You eat from a calabash, you feel like you're a little pepped up, you know?
We use a combination of seeds and stones, coconut shells to make all these jewelry. But this is where now you get a chance to, get something natural for yourself, family, and friends. If you want to make anything, like earrings, we have the sticks. You put the beads on and we put the hook on for you. If you see anything that you want to get, then it's there, no charge for touching, only if you hold it too long.
This is what I do. I may drum, but this is something, if you don't love it, you're not going to do it. Yeah, because you see what I was just doing? Just digging. Just digging. But you cannot afford to make no mistake. This fell apart, but this drop on your finger. You know what it's like. Some of my fingers, they are not straight. They are broken bones, cracked bones, and I lose my nails sometimes. But because I love what I do, pain is to me like nothing.
So this is where we make natural soaps with the material around us. And coconut oil is the main oil in this process. We put the coconut oil with sodium hydroxide dissolved in water, and that's the basic soap formula. Different measurements are used. We incorporate some soaps, fragrance oils, essential oils as well. You can open and you can smell.
We do not use water in our juices. We only use sugarcane in our juices, yeah? You know what this is?
Ginger.
Ginger. So in all of our juices, we have sugarcane and ginger. If you call Rastafari a coconut movement, you'll be correct, because we use coconut to do every single thing. So, I'm going to take you to Coconut Heaven. On the back of your hands, I'm going to give you a drop of coconut love. Yeah, man. So this is extra virgin coconut oil. We use this on everything that we have, our salads. Yes, we use coconut.
The Rastafari Village is definitely not an all-inclusive resort, but persons can visit the wellness center for a moment of relaxation or stay overnight in one of the numerous cabins on location. There's also an organic vegetable and herb garden you can explore. But if after the tour you still crave even more one-on-one experiences of the Rastafarian way of life, then the monthly IRITS concert is all you need.
And we live for the plans to be free, and we build our own society.
We started IRITS in January 2018. And, you know, as a group of Rastafari people who are here, we had always been planning, you know, to say that we must see how culture can cure. A lot of the musicians from Montego Bay, they always have to migrate to go somewhere else. And there are just so much traditions that are dying. And along with all of these things that are dying, we think that we could facilitate them under one umbrella. So IRITS became that umbrella of wellness. It became that umbrella for food. And it became a space where music and of course everything else to do with culture.
The event, which is held on the last Sunday of each month at 1 o'clock, never fails to bring out some of the best talents you can find.
There in the cover of the darkness we watch and wait. You knew exactly what to say, 'cause you've been caught before.
I tell you, we just can't take no more.
If you're looking for the perfect opportunity to learn about the Rastafari community, indulge in its way of life, and become one with their culture, you know where to go.
How we interact with others, whether at home or work, says a lot about us. It's often a reflection of something deeper, our emotional intelligence, the quiet superpower that shapes relationships, decisions, and even success.
In a world moving at lightning speed, where stress builds, words fly, and connections are fleeting, one ability has quietly emerged as a superpower.
It's not your degree, it's not your job title. It's called emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence, simply put, is the ability to regulate one's emotion and to be sensitive to the emotions of others.
Emotional intelligence, or EQ as it's also called, isn't just a feel-good phrase. It plays a critical role in how we live, love, and lead.
It enhances relationship, be it family, interpersonal, at the workplace, just being able to tap into one's emotion and to be able to know what is happening to me at that particular time. It's sensitive to what is happening to somebody too at a particular time. What I say, how I say it, what I do. So it brings harmony, it brings understanding.
So what makes up this powerful skill set?
All right, so the first one that comes to mind is self-awareness. What are my triggers? What gets me angry? What makes me upset? How does my childhood experiences affect me as an adult? Do I have low self-esteem?
Self-awareness is just the beginning. It's how we treat others that reveals how deep our EQ runs.
Social skills. Do I make others laugh? How well do I behave in social situation. Then there's empathy. Empathy is not sympathy. It is that ability to feel what others are feeling.
And then there's regulation, mastering the storm inside before it spills out.
Emotional regulation. We have issues like road rage. At that particular time, how do I behave? And you can probably rehearse it, as it were, and say, if I were to be bullied on the road by another driver, how do I respond? Do I maintain my calm?
And finally, motivation. The drive not just to succeed, but to grow.
Motivation is the other one. The ability to kind of have that intrinsic motivation. Motivation to change. Motivation to modify one's behavior. Motivation to adjust and to adapt. Motivation to rise above challenges. Motivation to achieve.
But what happens when EQ is missing, especially on the job?
Persons in the workplace, in the workspace, might be easily intimidated by others. And so some person might believe that everybody should like them, everybody should love them, nobody should give them a hard time at work, right? And so they might easily get frustrated and say, boy, I can't work in this environment anymore. Why am I like this? You see, that when I was much younger, my parents told me to shut up. You talk too much. Go to your room. And so it becomes a part of who I am today. I might lack self-confidence. So if I do a presentation at work, in my mind, I construct a narrative. They're all, look at them, they're all looking at me, they're saying that I'm no good. And I start to jitter and make all kind of mistakes.
Low EQ doesn't just affect careers, it strains the most important relationships in our lives.
Couples need to listen to each other, but know each other's cues. Know when to come with a hard topic. Emotional intelligence will say to you, no, it's not a good time.
And when it comes to parenting, EQ becomes a bridge between generations.
Getting along with the children too, being sensitive to how they might be feeling, giving them a voice to express how they're feeling, to create a safe space for them to feel confident that I can come to you as a parent and say this, right? Without being judged and without being punished, right? So emotional intelligence, it puts the family together, it builds confidence, self-awareness, it diffuses conflict, it builds harmony.
In families, at work, in love, emotional intelligence shapes the quality of our lives. And while not everyone is born with high EQ, it's something we can all learn. Emotional intelligence is not a destination. It's a daily decision to pause, to feel, and to grow. And in a world that never slows down, it might just be the most powerful skill of all.
As we wrap up today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we hope you found these features informative and engaging. Let's stay connected, won't you, through our website, gis.gov.jm, and on social media. On behalf of the entire team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Have yourselves a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.